Hey everyone, Marcus Walter here, back with another video. In this video, I wanted to do a question and answer session where I answer some questions and hopefully you get to learn a little bit more about me, my profession, my work as a meteorologist, and even a little bit more than that. All right, without further ado, let's begin. I am originally from suburban Chicago. I spent my childhood there up until 18 years of age. And then from there, I went off to college. But I'm a big fan of Chicago, love the food, love the energy of the city. Summertime, Chi is undefeated. And so I'm a big fan of Northeastern Illinois and pretty much everything Illinois has to offer. I am a broadcast meteorologist and I have been for more than 13 years. I've spent time working in multiple states across the country and I love the profession. I love the opportunity to help people, to give people information that they need. I ended up going to both undergrad and graduate school to earn my meteorology degrees. I have a bachelor's degree in meteorology from Penn State University. It's a university well known for its meteorology program, and a number of broadcast meteorologists around the country have earned their degrees from Penn State. Now, after finishing up at Penn State, I decided to go to grad school. So I ended up going to grad school at Cornell University. I went there to learn more about weather and business and statistics and how all of that can be combined to help businesses save or make money. But ultimately, I chose to pursue broadcast meteorology because that was my first interest in the field. What do I like to do in my free time? Well, I'm a big fan of streaming services. So I just recently watched a series called Elementary by CBS or by Paramount. That series came out a few years ago. It wrapped up a few years ago, but it was a really good series. I enjoyed that. But I love watching YouTube, watching videos on YouTube. I love the Tiny Desk concerts that NPR puts out every so often on YouTube. I'm a big fan of that. And so between watching YouTube, watching streaming series, getting outside, exploring the region, trying different restaurants, even going to the gym on occasion, that's all I do with my free time, along with visiting with family and friends when I can. My favorite city to live in and work in so far, well, I can't really choose one because there's been a few that I've really enjoyed. I'm a big fan of the Denver area. I love the views of the mountains from the city of Denver. I love having access to the mountains, or at least I loved having access to the mountains while I lived there. And overall, there was a lot to do, whether there were concerts, whether you wanted to do some hiking or just exploring. The city had a lot to offer. I also enjoy working in New York City. It's a nonstop city, right? It's always something going on, but the food was spectacular. And the people really made the experience for me. I met a lot of really cool people while I was there. So those two cities stand out. I currently work in Monroe, Louisiana, and so far Monroe has treated me well, so I'm very grateful for that. The people have been extra kind, very enjoyable to meet, so I've enjoyed them. But really, I've enjoyed a lot of the cities where I've lived and worked in. Cleveland will always have a special place in my heart. That's where I ultimately got my on-air career started, and I had a chance to meet a lot of cool people, attend people's and coworkers' weddings and different events. So again, Cleveland will have a special place in my heart. So I don't know if I can choose one city, but there are several cities that definitely stand out to me for places that I've really enjoyed not only living, but also working. What surprised me most about working in the field of meteorology and as a broadcast meteorologist is really the kindness that people have shown me so far. You know, a lot of times you hear stories about how mean people can be, especially across the internet. But throughout my career, I've been very fortunate to interact with a lot of people who've had nothing but nice things to say. They've been very enjoyable to meet in person, very kind. And so I think that's been the most surprising and fulfilling part about being a broadcast meteorologist and working in television, just meeting the people and also having the opportunity to help people out, especially when it comes to threatening weather, keeping them informed when weather is threatening. But yeah, people by far have been some of the most enjoyable parts of working in the field so far. Well, early in my career, I started out working behind the scenes at ABC's Good Morning America in New York City. And overall, living and working in New York City was a good experience. But one thing New York will do is work you. Whether you're in broadcasting or in finance or in any other field, they will keep you busy. And I remember spending a lot of long hours helping to produce weather covers at GMA, especially when we had big weather events. And I had the opportunity to work with Sam Champion and also Ginger Z and a few of the other correspondents at ABC News. And so it was a treat working with them. Again, it wasn't always the easiest in terms of just what we had to do to get the show on the air. But I have nothing but good memories of the people that I work with there, and I am a fan of the program still. I would just say make sure you are interested in the field and know that it won't necessarily be easy. Know that when you start out, the pay may not be the greatest, and all of those things can make it even more challenging when it comes to working in the field. But if you show dedication, if you really work hard and put the effort in, eventually you can overcome a lot of that. Again, we always feel like we need to make more money, and that could probably be one of the biggest arguments now, is that news networks aren't making as much money as they used to back in the day. But I definitely think it's so much value in providing weather content, providing news content to people, because it impacts their lives on a daily basis. So if you understand the purpose, why you're there, what you're trying to get out of the opportunity, and you are interested in these areas, I say go for it. And especially if you know you have a knack for writing well, or if you're a meteorologist and you really understand meteorology and you know how to communicate it, I think all of that will help you find success in the field. Where do I see myself in 5 to 10 years? You know, that's a good question. I honestly don't necessarily know, but I hope to be happy. I hope to be doing a job that is fulfilling and enjoyable. Again, I'm currently working in Monroe as the chief meteorologist, and I'm enjoying this job so far. So we'll see what happens in the future, but I am a fan of the field. My interest has only grown over the years. I've also explored other fields, just learning about different industries like the AI industry or cybersecurity. But ultimately, I see myself staying in news for the long term, unless something extraordinary happens and maybe another cool opportunity comes up. But I'm a fan of meteorology. I love being in positions to help people, especially when weather is threatening. And so that's one of the main reasons why I would want to stay in the field. I feel like there's a really good purpose for being in this field, because you do serve the public and you can really make a difference in their lives. All right, thanks for watching. If you want to watch more, you can find me on YouTube, youtube.com / Marcus D. Walter. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Facebook. But thanks again for watching, and until the next video, have a great day.